like and subscribe to the channel, and maybe I won't tell your parents exactly what you smoked on the weekend with friends. What is your best my friend is dating a terrible person and nobody can get through to them story? I watched my best friend's wife, thankfully now ex, systematically dismantle him. It was horrible to watch. I was vocal about how much it bothered me and it drove a wedge between us, and some years passed where we didn't speak to each other. We have since reconnected, and she is out of the picture. It was hard hearing him say dude you were the only one who told me it was a bad idea and I pushed you away, but I'm glad he saw the light. Every guy my best friend has dated. First serious guy cheated on her, threatened her plus their babies with a gun / driving into a wall, ultimately killed himself. Next guy, the kids loved as a father figure, but he regularly told her he didn't want to be their dad. He just needed a place to stay, and he removed every picture of the kid's dad. He broke up with her and moved out, and she still begged him for months. There have been a few dudes since, and they're all trash in one way or another. I'm at my wit's end. Not my friend but me. I was dating this girl, and she was horrible for me, but I was blind to it. A few friends told me how different we were, but I always defended our relationship. We dated for 3 years. Only after we broke up did I realize how toxic it was. Edit. Thanks for all the texts. This is fun. They broke up and got back together 11 times. That's not just an arbitrary number one pulled out of my ass. I was keeping count and it finally ended with breakup #12 when she took a trip without inviting him or telling him she was going, and posted a bunch of pics to Instagram of her with the guy she was cheating on my friend with. We had one friend in our group who was this introverted but sweet guy. He hooked up with a girl we called the troll. I don't quite know what he saw in her, maybe he was just lonely, but she was unattractive, unpleasant, unintelligent, and most importantly, she was terribly domineering. Like she was telling him off and telling him what to in public. I dread to think what it would be like in private. She was also cutting him off from his friends, especially female ones. They're married with twins now, and none of our friend group are in contact with him anymore. Last I saw him was his engagement party. My friend was me. And my father-in-law actually told me, when I asked his permission to marry his daughter, that he wanted to go, have a few beers and really talk about it. I never did that, and asked her to marry me. Fast forward to when I caught her in her affair years after our marriage, and was talking to her dad about it. He said this is why I didn't tell you yes when you asked me if you could marry her, because we all knew this would happen, and you don't deserve it. She cannot have a healthy truthful relationship with anyone. You're just her latest victim. We are still good buddies. I love the guy. Soon after getting together, she moved into his apartment. She turned his spare bedroom / office into her music room. Next she turned his garage into her yoga studio. She never did yoga. She preferred his car, but wouldn't let him drive hers, meaning there were many nights where he was stuck at home while she was out with her friends. She controlled his drinking. The few times he was out he was allowed one drink, which she usually drank, while she got totally rat-faced. She often stayed over at other guy friends' houses cause it's too late to drive home. She planned an elaborate holiday trip, which he paid for, to visit her ex. Relationship lasted a little under a year before she broke up with him because he turned 36 and she only dates guys who are 35. My friend dated this very self-righteous woman who could talk about nothing other than social issues and depression. It wasn't just that she had strong feelings about the topic, it was literally the only thing she would talk about. And the social issues were not limited to LGBT rights or women's issues. Anything that she could get self-righteous about would get her spouting fire and brimstone. Well, at one point I'm on a hike with her and my friend when the topic of burgers comes up. She goes, "Oh, I have to tell you the burger story." The burger story, it so happens, involved her cooking burgers for a group and wiping her dirty tampon on some dude's burger when he made vaguely sexist joke. I look over at my friend and he's smiling and nodding his head, as if to say see how cool and awesome my girlfriend is. Long story short, I made sure to cook my own burgers that afternoon. Before they dated, the guy hooked up with my friend for months while dating his girlfriend. Told my friend every day he'd dump GF because he wasn't happy with their relationship but didn't. Finally she stopped seeing him, but he came crawling back a month later saying he actually dumped her and she was back at his side. When they started dating, he came from a wealthy family, so he treated my friend to nice dates a lot, but he would throw a man-child fit of sulking, being passive-aggressive anytime she disagreed with him or wanted to do something that he didn't. He held a grudge against me for months because I wanted to do a girl day with my friend without him. Eventually that friend just stopped talking to me altogether, which led to a falling out. She's gone dead on social media, so no clue what they're doing now. Girlfriend has some mysterious past. She seems sketch from the first meeting. After dating almost a year, said she found a great job, wants friend to move with her. They talk about it for a few short weeks. GF finds a place for them. He hands over access to all the money he has, essentially, in order to get things set up. She goes mire 2 days later. Pops up after a week plus stating money was stolen. They split, no charges filed or anything. AAH, not even 2 months later, they start talking again. Possibly even seeing each other. He won't tell me much at this point. I made my feelings about her very well known. I don't know how to make it clearer to him. She's a succubus. Flip reverse, an old friend got together with a truly fantastic woman, and I tried to warn her off him. He's cheated on literally every girlfriend he's ever had and strings them along because he likes his apartment clean and dinner taken care of when he gets home. I've been his friend for over 10 years and I've put up with a lot of shit from him. He always promised he'd get his act together, and for a couple of years it seemed like he did. But alas. Of course he cheated on her eventually because he can't help himself when he's drunk. Yeah, I know, dude. That's why we've been telling you for years to maybe not drink so much if you know you can't handle yourself. She came to me for advice when she found out about the cheating, and I had to tell her that no, I didn't think he was going to change, and yes, she should leave now. Yeah, they're still together. We haven't spoken since. My mom is dating a terrible man. He is only 65, but acts like he's 85. He expects her to wait on him hand and foot. She has her own disabilities, but he expects her to push him through the airport in a wheelchair. He's rude to her friends and family. He generally has no manners and no consideration for others. He hates technology and anything current. He is stuck in the 70s. He's the opposite of handy. He actually impedes work. Her friends and family can't stand him, and she understands that, so she limits how much time we spend with him. But I guess he's good enough as a warm body to go on vacations and to restaurants with. She doesn't think she can get anyone better. And really at 71 years old, her pool of available men is limited. But she's really a nice person. She cares about her appearance. She supports herself. She's fun and funny. I just wish she could be with someone that she could include in her whole life, who got along with her friends and family. Girl I knew got knocked up by this dude who had a knack for catching assault charges and getting sent to jail and or prison. Despite his violent behavior, even toward family members, though not as violent as his full-fledged assaults, she was adamant about marrying him. Apparently, he wanted her to drop out of college and be a stay-at-home mom that he supported. Two things there. First, good luck doing that as a felon in this economy. Not impossible, but unlikely. Second, maybe I'm jaded, but to an outsider, that seems like obvious economic manipulation, that this guy wanted her to depend on him, so he could keep cheating on her and whatnot. After he got released from his latest stint, he cheated on her again, and she finally wised up and dumped him, but she still constantly posts conflicting stuff on social media about how she loves him, but also hates him. Dude was clearly bad news from the beginning. She seems to be doing fine as a single mom with family support, but pretty much everybody could see the writing on the wall except for her. This might not be what this thread is looking for, but in this case the friend was me. My ex-wife would invite a couple of her friends over once a week for dinner. Whatever else she was an excellent cook. She was also sleeping with at least 3 other guys and carrying on an online affair. I suspect her one friend knew about it and tried to tell me about it over dinner on more than one occasion. She explained that she had a friend who was getting married, but her fiancé didn't know that she was cheating on him all the time. With a bunch of different guys. And I would say, well, why don't you tell him? And she would go, it's complicated. I know him well enough, but she's been my friend for years and I don't want to alienate that friendship. It was a recurring topic of conversation at weekly dinner. We were divorced by the time I realized she was talking about me. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and like. Share your stories in the comments.